What's up guys, welcome to Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh arena of Valor content. Today I've got a Roxie video for you where I was playing Roxie in the support role. That said, I want to share the basic equipment for you as a team tanker, but despite the fact that I've taken Barrett's Agony here, I decided to take not only the support item in addition to the build that you see, but I have chosen to take the Aegis over Barrett's Agony in this build, but you guys are going to see for yourself how well or how bad this was actually going to be. Enchantment wise, we've taken River Treader for some sustain, as well as Nature's Gift to boost our health a little bit, and then Explosive Shield to be just a little bit more durable. And in the Lockheim enchantment section, I've taken Devour as well as Bone Cutter to get some more resistance against crowd control effects, which of course synergizes with the Gilded Greaves. Arcana wise, I've taken my magic tank build. It is 10 times Violate here, 10 times Benevolence for some additional HP, and then I've taken Surveillance here for some additional HP and some cooldown reduction. And I was using the heal talent, but you should also consider Flicker to be something as a viable option here for your Roxie build. So this is the build, and yeah, like, comment and subscribe as much as possible, or as, yeah, the most as possible. And now I've got the gameplay to make the intro as short as possible. So thanks for watching and enjoy today's game, where we go to see one of the best Enzos I've seen in quite a while. Unfortunately, he was on the opposing team. Alright, here we are, and we've got a really interesting team composition on the enemy team. As I already said, they're playing Enzo. Enzo is considered to be a character that is mainly used in the jungle, and he is also quite weak in that position in comparison to all the meta choices that you have in the jungle right now. That said, of course, always the skill of the individual player counts. So there might be a lot of tier lists, but it of course depends on what this person is playing and what this person is playing against. So you can't take all those tier lists for granted. They give you some kind of improvement when you've got the same skill level, and basically all the players know how to play the respective characters. But of course, that this is not always the case shows a lot of the gameplay examples that you guys might have played in the last couple of months anyway, so you should not always take those lists for granted, but they are some kind of indicator of what characters are strong right now. That said, Hayate is one of the strongest AD carries in the game. I haven't really figured out how strong Terry or Tally is right now in the game. In my first match, I felt her quite overpowered, but I don't think that she is a match for Hayate if the Hayate player knows what to do. They've got Dirac as a support, which is interesting because usually you don't see Dirac that often on that role. I don't even see Dirac at all in most of the games, so it's always kind of fresh to see Dirac on the battlefield. As I said, they have Enzo as a player, but he is focusing on the solo lane against the lane, which I think is super interesting, especially because that Enzo player was playing his Enzo really, really well. We've got Natalia on the opposing side in the mid lane, a really common choice and a strong mid laner because she has a lot of damage, especially if the team can bring some crowd control to the battle. She is going to be even better because it just means that her spells are going to hit more often. And then they've got Xanis in the jungle, who is always quite a decent choice, especially in the lower ranks, and we are playing Platinum ranked here, so Xanis is considered to be a little bit higher in the tier list than you will find on the internet, for example in Doizer's tier list, where he is more sorts of the bottom of the jungle tier list, but I don't really think that this works for Platinum here. On our team, we've got a balanced team composition, so I'm the support and I'm here with Terry. I think it's decent, but not one of the best ones. We've got Diochan in the mid lane, really strong CC champion, so there should be some moments for both our Elaine and our Terry to work. When set up quite nicely from Diochen's slow spells. And then we have Butterfly in the jungle, also a decent choice, a really good jungler, not the best jungler obviously in the game, but she's really, really decent because she has a nice mixture of tankiness and damage at the same time. And all in all, I would say we have the more balanced build, but as you guys are going to see for yourself, this doesn't really help when the team is not fighting together. Terry was holding back a lot in my opinion. I don't know if that player is new on the champion or if that player hasn't played that many games, because obviously that champion is new, so of course it's a new player, but I don't really know how many games this player has played. In the loading screen you could see that this player has the same amount of experience than I have with Roxie, so I would say roughly about 30 games or something. And this was just ace to kill Xanis here and not being killed in reverse. I think that was a really strong action here, and it really made that ult shine, despite the fact that I don't really like the low range of her ult. That has been changed a couple of years ago. I still think it's really, really good when you lock down to a target, because it gives you so many options to just take this one guy and completely separate him from his team. And this is really powerful to take on one enemy at a time with your shield and your consistent damage from your S1. This ult feels really strong. Look at that. So I have pulled out Hayate. I think that was a big mistake to jump in again. Now I think that Terry was just staying a little bit too long, because Dirac still has his ult up, so she should always try to move back and forth to not being hit by that crazy laser beam. But all in all, the whole setup was actually quite nice, and my 2 kills were there to help, and Dirac's ult is not really giving me any headache at all, because it's just not dealing so much damage that I could not try to retaliate and put some pressure on that tower. What we are doing right now, I think Terry could have moved in a little bit earlier to put some damage on the tower while Dirac was still fighting me, but it is as it is, you can't change it. And now we are back on track, trying to hit my ult here. Unfortunately, I was aiming a little bit too far left, because otherwise that Dirac might have been dead. And now it is time to get out of Hayate, and that was just too much damage in combination. My barrier did not withstand the incoming dead blow, and that said, I'm about to be killed. I don't know what happened here. That looked actually quite crazy. But as you can see, the enemies are closing in, so we had a, not big, but we had a lead in terms of kills, but the enemy has been closing in. Their game on the bigger minions is way better than ours, so they have scored the first Darkslayer already. Now they've got all the time in the world to start dealing with our jungle, which is going to set Butterfly back anyways, and I don't know what she's doing right now. She's kind of hanging around here. I made an entrance here because I just saw some opportunity. Terry's ult is flying around into the nowhere. My team is not paying attention in any kind of respect to what's happening on the map. And now it's me against Xanis. I'm trying to help Terry out here, but I think that cost is already lost. So I'm dealing with Enzo and Dirac at the same time. They started to surround me, and there's nothing that I can do against it. Given Enzo a double kill, which is of course not something that you want to have. And now I thought that a lane would still be in ult mode, but as you can see, the little green icon is not activated at the bottom or under the minimap. That means that he did not have ult ready, so I don't really know what this was all about, because without ult I would never ever fight Enzo, because that Enzo had some kills, and you can tell that this guy knows what he was doing. He was completely kiting us whenever we were fighting him, especially with Roxie. I don't really have the measures because I don't have great slow capabilities. The only thing that I can use to get him is kind of trying to drag him with my ult and then use my speed buff coming from my S2. But as you can see, map awareness and everything is basically non-existent here, and I was just trying to fight Enzo here to see how capable this guy is, using his flicker here really nice, and he making best of his range to fight me. And that was the moment where I decided I don't stand a chance against this guy because he has superior range against me. I have to come quite close, and I don't know what this Elaine is all about. Like, he already had been a goner against Enzo just by himself, and now Direk was there to help, and you can see Enzo is leading the kill score on the enemy team with 7 kills already. So really great game for this Enzo, really well played. And now the complete tide of the battle has already changed, 11 versus 13. First Abyssal Dragon and first Darkslayer was defeated by the enemy team, and despite that fact, we were still in the game trying to put some pressure on the mid lane, but as you can see, it was like a 1-by-1. So we went in. Now we've got a double kill here, actually super nice. Now we need to follow up to get this Hayate. Diogen is also already retreating. Elaine is dealing with the minions here. The rest of the team is gone. Butterfly has been killed. Terry has been killed already. I don't know what's going on, but it was really hard to put that pressure onto the enemy team just by myself, because I had the feeling that we did not really coordinate on this game whatsoever. It was basically 5 solo players playing a game, and the only reason why everything went quite well so far is just because enemies made some mistakes. For example, I'm able to get Enzo here without any problem. I think that was a mistake to try to hook me, so I was able to get another kill on this guy. So 5 kills, that should be kill lead on my team. Now I was able to drag in Hayate, even being close to killing him. And now Elaine is targeting the wrong guy. I think he should have made use of his dash in, and then ult on Hayate in order to get Hayate here, because that's it's not only the main threat, but it was the guy who was the lowest in terms of health. And now my team is making a good push on the mid lane, and I don't really know why everyone was now pulling back, because that tower was basically gone if they would have combined their forces, and now the tower is still standing with 71 points left. Why did you just retreat? It was just one shot from Terry, and that would have been the tower, and that would have just given us a good approach, because it would just mean that we would have an advantage, because the first big minions would have been for our team instead of the enemy's team. So now I'm trying to follow up, kind of distracting Enzo a little bit, but my team has already withdrawn. I mean, yes, it's fairly clear because Terry was super low. Diogen could have made something, but I'm the supporter and I'm the gold lead, and that's always a really bad indicator when it comes to the overall team performance. And yeah, ult, I don't know what she was thinking. It didn't hurt the minions, it didn't hurt anyone from the enemy team, so that ult was completely for... Yeah, it was nice to look at it, because there was something flying around, and she's second best in gold, that Terry, with not really that great performance from her. Now the next Darkslayer has been defeated, so this is the point where I completely lost it. Like, I just saw that we cannot win the game. Now our Elaine is even able to shut down Direk, so really good choice here. I've been able to get this Enzo, but look at that Enzo. He used all of his mobility to be out. Now we would have needed a Terry ult to follow up. Natalia and Hayate are still standing, so I now used my ability to retreat. Butterfly comes in, and now I think she makes a really wise play, because she's not only able to get a shadow kill on Natalia, but she's also able to not only get a double but a triple kill on Enzo. I now try to get this poor soul. I try to protect her, but unfortunately this Zenith was a little bit too fast. Finally my team made a push towards the middle tower, so now we have the first tower next to the core. But this is of course not helping with ults like that. Those are ults out of hell, not really helping anyone. Why not wait until he is under tower and he's not able to do anything against it? And yeah, in terms of the towers, to be fair, sorry, in terms of the towers, the whole team effort wasn't even bad. It's 4 towers versus 4 towers. There's just 1 tower standing on the solo lane. The towers in the mid lane have already been gone, which is great because it is the shortest direction towards the core. I'm building up some more items to protect me from incoming damage. Now I'm focusing on magic damage because we still have Natalia in the game. We did not really see anything great from her so far, but that doesn't mean that the damage isn't there. And again, this is a team fight. Elaine is hanging around somewhere. Butterfly is just kind of doing something. I mean, yes, it wasn't my complete duty to go in, but this not really focusing on one single team fight and completely agreeing on that, but making it from time to time. So someone approaches, someone else approaches, and then after everyone is already dead, you just make another entrance. It doesn't work like that. You need to fight as a team. I don't know what Butterfly was thinking. She was defending something that we didn't need to defend, especially as there was a team fight going on. So if you commit something, you should commit fully, and this is the outcome of a horrible game because the team communication was nullified. No one was really paying attention to what anyone was doing. I tried my very best, so I scored MVP, which is okay. So thanks for nothing. I scored MVP. Do get some brave points. I'm losing some brave points. Doesn't really change anything about the overall score. And yeah, I've been MVP, but with what outcome? Defeat 21 versus 26. So this is it. I think Roxie is actually quite powerful if you have a team playing around her, but look at that, 7-2 Dirac, really nice. So I scored 3rd most damage as a support, which is a shame, and best fight participation, but that did not really help us to win the game. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys were entertained, but this was actually not really satisfying at all. Bye bye. Games like this do exist.